Nobody wants to rebuild the infrastructure on compliance on Wall Street until now. Now, let me give you an example.
Hey there, future millionaires. Welcome back to the channel. It's so good to see you again. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day, no matter where you're tuning in from around this incredible world of ours. Today, we're diving into something really exciting, XRP. And I just had to share this fascinating insight from Crypto Rover that's got everyone talking. So here's the thing. According to the traditional 4-year cycle, this bull market should already be wrapping up, right? But hold on. I genuinely believe we're witnessing something completely different this time around. We're literally standing at the edge of massive institutional adoption, and utility is finally starting to drive these cryptocurrencies forward. This cycle? It's unlike anything we've seen before. We're looking at what seems like a much longer, more sustained run, and yes, I know many of you are worried that Bitcoin might have already hit its peak, but here's what's keeping me optimistic. The Fed is still cutting rates. We've got major regulations waiting to drop as soon as the government reopens. And for all you XRP holders out there, get excited because we've got those ETFs coming our way, plus the game-changing ISO 2022 standard. There are still so many massive developments about to unfold before this cycle wraps up. And who knows? We might even see a full-blown utility-driven rally right in the middle of alt season. How incredible would that be?
Why is the crypto market down today? All right, so here's what happened. Right in the middle of that XRP pullback we saw, this article drops. And guess what? They're saying exactly what I told you guys in my last video. They're pointing to rising inflation fears and all this uncertainty around Fed policy that's basically putting the brakes on people's appetite for digital assets. And honestly, I think I know exactly what's happening here. The market is sitting there going, okay, what's next? Everyone's on edge wondering, is the Fed actually going to cut rates or not? Well, here's the thing. We're going to get our answer later today. And if they do cut rates, I'm expecting to see this market bounce back in a big way. But wait, it gets even better. We might also see a US-China deal happening as early as tomorrow. Can you imagine? If both of these things line up, we could be looking at some serious momentum heading into the weekend. This could be the perfect storm we've all been waiting for.
All right, let's see how this all plays out. So big news just dropped. Western Union is planning to launch a stablecoin on Solana in 2026. Now, there's a ton of FUD swirling around this announcement, and I'm seeing people everywhere saying, well, this means they won't need a bridge currency like XRP anymore. But hold up, let me give you my honest take on this. I think Western Union's days are seriously numbered, and here's why. They're way, way too late to this party. Think about it. People are absolutely fed up with those crazy Western Union fees, and launching a stablecoin in 2026, that's not going to magically fix their fee problem. People have already moved on to better, cheaper alternatives. This feels like a desperate attempt to stay relevant in a game they're already losing. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
So here's the thing about Western Union's fees, and this is where it gets really messy. They don't just charge you one simple flat fee. Oh no, that would be too easy. Instead, your costs depend on literally everything. Where you're sending money, how much you're sending, how you're paying for it, and how the person receiving it wants to get their money. Talk about complicated. Then you've got transfer fees that change based on your specific transaction. Sometimes it's a fixed amount, sometimes it's a percentage, sometimes it's both. But wait, there's more. They also mark up the exchange rate on top of all those other fees. So you're getting hit twice. And if you dare to use a credit card, get ready for cash advance fees and interest charges from your card company too. Oh, and did I mention it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 business days for your money to actually arrive? In 2025, can you believe that? This is exactly why Ripple exists, guys. They're trying to eliminate all these ridiculous middlemen and fees. So when people start panicking about Western Union building a stablecoin on Solana, I'm like, really? You think that's going to solve these fundamental problems? I don't think so.
And let's talk about something else. Solana's notorious downtime issues. I mean, come on. We've all seen it happen over and over again. The network just stops working when you need it most. Look, I'm going to be straight with you here. I think Solana's going to become irrelevant pretty quickly. We're literally standing at the doorstep of a completely new financial system, and honestly, Solana just isn't going to make the cut. And you know what? Deep down, you already know which cryptocurrencies are actually going to be the backbone of this new financial world we're heading into. You've been watching the same developments I have, and the writing is on the wall. What do you think? Are you seeing the same patterns I'm seeing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
But wait, here's where things get really interesting. Western Union is actually moving toward blockchain-based payments. And guess how they're doing it? By acquiring a company that's already using Ripple's technology. So check this out. Back in August 2025, Western Union announced they were acquiring International Money Express, also known as Intermex. And here's the kicker. By doing this acquisition, they're literally inheriting Ripple's entire infrastructure. Now get this, Intermex has been actively using Ripple's ODL service since 2020. That's on-demand liquidity, which uses XRP to power cross-border payments. They've been doing this for years already. So what does this mean? Well, by acquiring Intermex and all their existing Ripple infrastructure, Western Union is basically positioning themselves to expand blockchain-powered payments on a much bigger scale. They could potentially roll out Ripple's technology across their entire network. The irony here is incredible. They're already using Ripple's technology and XRP's on-demand liquidity. So while they're talking about launching their own stablecoin, they're simultaneously doubling down on the very technology that XRP holders have been betting on all along. Pretty wild, right?
But here's what I don't get. Why on earth did they choose Solana? Honestly, this feels like just another FUD campaign to me. Think about it. First, they were saying Chainlink was going to be the XRP killer. Then it was Litecoin's turn. And now suddenly it's Solana. There's always some new cryptocurrency that's supposedly going to make XRP obsolete. It's like clockwork. But here's the reality check. Solana and Ethereum, they're just too slow for what we actually need in real-world financial infrastructure. And don't just take my word for it. Listen to what Kevin O'Leary has been saying about this. It's almost like they're throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, you know? But when it comes to actual speed and efficiency for cross-border payments, the numbers don't lie. What do you think? Are you seeing the same pattern I'm seeing with all these so-called XRP killers? Let me know in the comments.
So in the last 9 months, lots has changed. Number one, we had regulation on stablecoins, which is effectively digital payment systems. That's very important. It's now law and legal. Number two, we've been talking about putting Wall Street onto blockchain for 12 years. It's never happened because there's never been a good use case to do it. And nobody wants to rebuild the infrastructure on compliance on Wall Street until now. Now, let me give you an example. If you think about now that digital payment systems are legal, and let's talk about a use case for consumers, your phone. Now, if you could be right beside your favorite coffee shop or pizza joint or burger joint and simply say, large Mac, mac and cheese, fries, that's it. That's all you have to say. Now, why will that work? Because your phone, through AI, knows where you are, it knows where they are, it has a digital payment system on chain, and it sends that $4 order in a nanosecond right to the register there. They know who you are, so when you walk in a minute and a half later, you pick up your burger, or your slice, or your coffee, or your groceries, or your dry cleaning, or anything you want. The only thing holding us up on this vision, but believe me, there's a lot of people trying to solve for this, is the blockchain itself. Ethereum, everybody knows that name, and Solana is also popular over the last 3 years. They're too slow because you're going to be doing 100 million transactions around the world every minute. And that's going to get very stuck on those chains. And that happened a couple of weekends ago in Ethereum when all of a sudden it was just a mess when they had a big correction in digital markets and the crypto markets. So we've got to build off that, and that's coming soon. But I'm really excited because the Clarity Act, it'll be law probably in the next 90 days, further defining the law towards this vision I'm giving you.
Okay, let's talk in the future more about this. I get it, and I can see how you use the cryptocurrency of any sort, stablecoin or whatever it may be. If you can get a blockchain that processes a bunch of transactions at once, to your point, I can see how you pay for stuff, your everyday interactions. I'll be curious as we move in that direction, Kevin, what the effects are on inflation, the lack thereof, the controlling of inflation. If you've got a finite base of now cryptocurrencies, does that help us tame, the inflationary aspects of the Federal Reserve printing more money if you are now dealing in everything in crypto? And I'm not sure that's something you could answer in the 30 seconds we have left, but I think that's fascinating now if we all almost inadvertently move away from the dollar and what effects that has on the inflationary aspects of the dollar.
We're not really moving away from the dollar. We're moving away from the paper currency, and we're moving to the U.S. Treasury bill, shorter duration than 92 days. I think in the next 5 or 6 months, the largest holder of U.S. Treasuries will be stablecoins. And it's still the good old American economy that's backing that up. And everybody trusts. 52 cents of every dollar invested around the world goes to the American economy. I think this is a good outcome. And I believe what I just told you will be rapidly moving forward because it will be law. It's not crypto cowboy land anymore. We have policy.
So he's saying the Clarity Act is just 90 days away, and while he was talking, all I could think about was the Interledger Protocol. Guys, we're talking about the ability to handle 1 trillion transactions per second. And here's the crazy part. The infrastructure is already there, just waiting. This is exactly how AI and crypto are going to completely transform everyone's life. And by holding crypto right now, we're literally holding what I like to call robot money, the currency that's going to power this entire new economy. Once this system goes live, and trust me, they're definitely trying to fast-track this, I'm confident we'll see it by 2027. And when that happens, we're going to get very, very rich. Here's what's going to blow your mind. Once these regulations are finally in place, watch how incredibly fast everything starts moving. You're going to wake up every single day to new announcements about AI being integrated with Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, you name it. And payments are going to be at the center of it all. Running quietly in the background, you'll have blockchains like the XRP Ledger, Stellar, XDC, and others powering this entire revolution. We are so close to this new financial system, and most people have absolutely no idea. Even though the government's shut down right now, and it might seem like nothing's happening, behind the scenes, everything is still building, still advancing. Innovation never stops, my friends. It just keeps moving forward. All right, let's talk about what I call the Ripple bottleneck theory. And this is where things get really exciting. All these acquisitions that Ripple's been making, they're not random. They're strategically creating a bottleneck that funnels the world's biggest trading players right through their ecosystem. Think about what this bottleneck opens up. We're talking about Ripple, RLUSD, XRP, and the XRP ledger handling trillions upon trillions of dollars in payments, settlements, clearing, custody, and DeFi. They've got Medico, Standard Custody and Trust, Rail Financial, Hidden Road, Treasury. The list keeps growing. And here's what we're still waiting for: a national bank charter and a Fed master account. But honestly, I think those are coming very, very soon. Now, I keep seeing people spreading FUD about all these acquisitions, saying things like, oh, Ripple has to keep buying businesses just to create a use case for XRP. But they're completely missing the point. Ripple isn't just buying companies randomly. They're building a one-stop financial shop. They're creating a system where everything flows through them. Here's my prediction. Ripple is going to emerge as a full-blown bank in the very near future. We're literally just waiting on that bank charter and Fed master account, and then, boom, game over for the competition. Can you see the bigger picture here? This isn't just about XRP. This is about controlling the entire flow of global finance. 2 trillion Japanese payment processor TIS to launch blockchain-based platform for stablecoins and tokens. And immediately, someone in the comments dropped this truth bomb. You don't want to inform them that they already made a deal with Ripple. They're just going to push that Bitcoin and crypto narrative instead. And you know what? That comment hit different because it's absolutely true. Here's the thing. Whenever you see Japan making any moves in the crypto space, you can bet SBI is working behind the scenes. And guess what? We already know SBI has been a major XRP holder for years. They've been partnered with Ripple since way back. So when these announcements come out and they're pushing the whole Bitcoin and crypto story, they're conveniently leaving out the fact that the XRP ecosystem is already deeply embedded in Japan's financial infrastructure. It's like they're telling half the story on purpose. The XRP connections are already there. The partnerships are already established. But somehow, that part gets glossed over in all the mainstream coverage. Makes you think, doesn't it? What do you guys think? Are they deliberately downplaying the XRP angle, or is it just coincidence? Drop your thoughts below. And just the other day, when they finally closed that Hidden Road acquisition and rebranded it as Prime Broker, the CEO of SBI dropped this perfect line. It's prime time. He said, Ripple closes Hidden Road acquisition to bring prime brokerage into the digital age. They all see it, guys. The plan is coming together beautifully. It's like watching a massive puzzle being assembled piece by piece, and we get to witness it in real time. Here's what's incredible. Everything is somehow connected to Ripple's infrastructure. Whether it's their direct rails or through one of their partners, they're all utilizing this technology and XRP in so many use cases across the globe already. I'm telling you, This has all been planned for years. So when people keep saying, oh, Solana's going to replace Ripple now, I just shake my head. Listen, Ripple was laying down rails before Solana was even a thought. We're talking about infrastructure that spans every single country around the world. And honestly, I don't even see Western Union as a major threat or use case anymore. They're so far behind. Have you tried sending money through Western Union lately? Watch how much they eat up in fees, and they're supposed to be the king of remittances. It's honestly embarrassing. We're about to see a massive shift because once you eliminate the middleman, cut out those ridiculous fees, and make transactions happen instantly, a lot of these old school companies are going to disappear. It's the same reason everyone's fed up with SWIFT. People are tired of the fees, the wait times, the failed transactions. They want something better. And that's exactly what Ripple built, a real alternative to SWIFT. Instead of trying to fight them head-on, they just created something better. And now we're watching all that business naturally flow over to the superior option. Swift is over 50 years old. Even their latest upgrades can't compete with what Ripple and XRP are doing right now. You guys are holding the future in your hands. Until that future fully unfolds, just stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. Alright, that's a wrap for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I seriously appreciate each and every one of you. I'll catch you in the next one. Have an amazing night, everyone.